There's something different in the air at St. James Park, a quiet tension, the kind you won't find in headlines or post-match interviews. It's as if an invisible thread is linking the club's backstage activity to a bold new move in the transfer market. There's a growing feeling that Newcastle are preparing for a masterstroke, and what's even more intriguing, this move is directly connected to a name that's already familiar to the fans, a player who's been on the Magpies' radar before, but for different reasons, never quite made it to Tyneside. Now, that may finally be about to change. Inside the club, things have been busy. Behind the cameras, meetings are being held, phone calls exchanged, all shaping Eddie Howe's plans for the attack. Newcastle are pushing hard to bring in attacking reinforcements, and confidence is building that the next player to pull on the black and white shirt will be someone who once slipped through the club's fingers. What once seemed like a shut door is now wide open again. And for those of you watching this channel, now's the perfect time to subscribe. Don't miss a single twist in this developing story. Your subscription helps us keep this space alive and fueled with in-depth, trustworthy updates. A lot has changed since that frustrating deal fell through in 2022. The player has matured, changed clubs, experienced highs and lows, and now, with a new scenario unfolding, he's back on Newcastle's priority list. Eddie Howe has always admired this specific talent. He knows that if he can bring him in now, he'll have a weapon capable of deciding big games, particularly in top competitions like the Premier League and European tournaments. The player's style, his technical profile, and his recent performances all match what Howe wants in his revamped front line. What's remarkable is that this player has already had 2 chances to join Newcastle. The first time he turned it down personally. The second, he chose another European giant. But football doesn't always reward poor choices. Time passed, the circumstances changed, and now it might be the player himself looking for a fresh start. According to Fabrizio Romano, one of the most trusted voices in football journalism, Newcastle are now working on a deal for this forward. And this isn't just anyone. We're talking about Hugo Ekitike. Yes, Newcastle fans, Ekitike is back on the radar. According to Fabrizio Romano, the Magpies are currently in negotiations to sign the French striker who now plays for Eintracht Frankfurt. The club has tried to sign him twice before, both times ending in disappointment. Back in 2022, Newcastle even reached a deal with Stade de Reims, but Ekitike rejected the move and opted for Paris Saint-Germain instead. Now in 2025, the mood is different, and Newcastle believe this could finally be the right time to seal the deal. And if you've made it this far, you already know that behind every name, there's a story. That's why now's the perfect time to hit subscribe. On this channel, we don't just skim the surface, we go deep into every detail, uncovering what's happening behind the scenes at the club you love. So click the button, join the community, and stay on top of everything Newcastle United. Back to the story. Hugo Ekitike's situation changed after his turbulent spell at PSG. The French wonderkid struggled to find his place in their star-studded squad, and was later loaned to Eintracht Frankfurt, where he rediscovered his form. Since then, he's notched 26 goals and 14 assists in 64 matches, strong numbers that reflect real growth, and more than justify Newcastle's renewed interest. According to Fabrizio Romano, Newcastle believe Ekitike fits Eddie Howe's system perfectly, both in terms of his style and his long-term potential. He's seen as a strong alternative to João Pedro, another player Newcastle wanted before he chose to sign for Chelsea. This time, however, the club isn't wasting time. Behind the scenes, talks are already underway with Frankfurt and Ekitike's representatives. It's not a simple or cheap deal, but the message is clear. Newcastle are all in. And this is the point where fans start to get excited. Unlike previous attempts, there's a sense of optimism now. Discussions are active, the board is moving smartly, and the pieces are beginning to fall into place. Working early and with a clear strategy could make the difference, especially considering the competition. Liverpool and Chelsea are both keeping tabs, and even Manchester United looked at the deal before deciding the price was too high. But Newcastle believe the time to strike is now. With Callum Wilson recently departing, there's a clear gap in the squad. Ekitike is seen as the perfect fit, young, dynamic, strong in the box, and capable of making big moments count. Plus, the fact that he's been a long-term target only adds to the confidence that this could be the right move, at the right time. Back when Newcastle missed out on him to PSG, Eddie Howe was honest about his feelings. "We really like Hugo as a player. There's no denying that, I won't hide it. We tried to sign him in January and again in the summer, but it didn't work out. He chose PSG and we wish him the best. We thought he was a top talent and could have done very well for us." Those words now take on new meaning as the French striker edges closer to a potential arrival on Tyneside. And if you're the kind of fan who loves tracking every twist and turn of a transfer saga, this is the place to be. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Your support is what keeps us going, delivering the kind of detailed, passionate Newcastle content you won't find anywhere else. Don't forget to hit the bell icon too, so you never miss a single update. Now, as it stands, sources close to the club say talks are still ongoing. Newcastle are speaking to Ekitike's camp, outlining their sporting project and trying to reach a deal. The next few weeks will be decisive. If it all comes together, Ekitike will arrive not just as a signing but as a leading figure for the new season. Having a striker like Ekitike would also give Eddie Howe tactical flexibility. It would allow him to switch between a 4-3-3 and 4-2-3-1 more comfortably and make better use of rapid transitions, something he values highly. Ekitike is mobile, technically gifted, intelligent in space, and can finish with both feet, qualities that are essential in today's demanding, fast-paced game. It's also worth noting that Newcastle are not just building for now, they're building for the long term. Since the ownership change, the club has become more strategic, avoiding flashy impulse buys and focusing on players with room to grow. At 23, with a promising Bundesliga spell behind him, Ekitike fits that vision perfectly. And let's not forget, his arrival could also ease fans' concerns after Callum Wilson's departure. It's a long, demanding season ahead, with Premier League fixtures, cup ties, and possibly European matches on the cards. The squad needs depth, and it needs match winners. Ekitike could be both. So far, Eintracht Frankfurt have not confirmed any official offers, but according to insiders, Newcastle's interest is serious and being treated as a priority. Ekitike himself is reportedly open to returning to a top European league, now older, wiser, and ready to prove he belongs. And there would be something poetic about him doing that in a shirt he once walked away from. If the deal is completed, the impact will be felt both on and off the pitch. Newcastle would not only strengthen their squad, but also send a clear signal to the market. This is a club that means business. A potential Ekitike signing would reinforce that message and give fans even more reason to believe the best is yet to come. And if you've made it this far, here's your final invitation. Subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps this community thriving, a space dedicated solely to Newcastle United. Here you'll find first-hand news, in-depth analysis, behind-the-scenes updates, and content driven by true love for the club. Hit the button and come with us as we track every step of Hugo Ekitike's possible journey to St. James Park.